Texas night in February 1974, where the stars seem close enough to touch, and a teenage girl's laughter spills from a car window, warm with the glow of first love. In a heartbeat, that warmth is torn apart, a car door wrenched open, a brutal blow, and a scream that pierces the darkness. "Rodney, get my dad." Then nothing. The girl, Carla Walker, just 17, vanishes into the Fort Worth shadows, leaving behind a city that would never feel safe again. This is her story, one that claws at your heart and demands you listen. You're here because stories like Carla's hit hard, the kind that make you question the world and fight for justice. Don't let her fade into the noise. Hit subscribe right now. It's more than a button. It's a promise to keep her voice alive. If you're already with us, thank you. But share this with someone who needs to hear it. Let's make sure Carla's story reaches further than those 12 views from last time. She deserves that. Carla Jan Walker was more than a case number. She was the pulse of a tight-knit family, the kind of girl who made Fort Worth suburbs feel like home. Born January 31st, 1957, in the sprawling, sun-soaked city of Fort Worth, Texas, where cattle drives still echoed in the stockyards and Friday night football was sacred, Carla grew up in Benbrook, a quiet pocket of ranch-style homes and wide lawns. Her parents, Leighton and Doris Walker, built a life of faith and hard work, raising Carla and her siblings with love that smelled of fried chicken suppers and sounded like hymns on Sunday mornings. Leighton, a man of steady hands worn from labor, and Doris, whose quiet strength held the family steady, saw Carla as their bright star. At 17, a junior at Western Hills High School, she was a cheerleader with a smile that could light up a stadium, her long brown hair bouncing as she rallied the crowd. Friends recall her slipping notes in class, turning dull moments into shared giggles, her kindness a magnet for everyone around her. To her brother Jim, she was the teasing spark. To her sister Cindy, a confidant dreaming of college and freedom. In Fort Worth, 1974 was a world of cruising drive-ins and Elvis on the radio, a place where danger felt like a distant rumor, until it wasn't. That illusion shattered on February 16, 1974, a Saturday night drenched in the romance of Valentine's Day. Western Hills High buzzed with the sweetheart dance, the gym draped in paper hearts and shimmering lights. Carla, radiant in a blue dress, arrived with her boyfriend, Rodney McCoy, an 18-year-old with a shy grin and a Chevy that rumbled with promise. They danced to slow songs, her laughter mingling with the music, their connection young, but fierce. Around 10 p.m. they left the gym, the night still young, and cruised Camp Bowie Boulevard, Fort Worth's neon-lit lifeline. They grabbed fries at Mr. Quick Hamburgers, looped the Benbrook traffic circle, the radio crooning as they stole kisses. By 11:30 p.m., they pulled into the parking lot of Brunswick Ridgelea Bowl, a low-slung bowling alley off the boulevard, its lanes alive with late-night clatters. The lot was half empty, sodium lights casting long shadows. They parked near the edge, away from the glow, lost in each other. The kind of moment where the world feels like it belongs to you. Then, the night broke. A figure loomed from the darkness. A man, white, about 5'10", in a brown vest, moving with purpose. The passenger door flew open, and before Rodney could react, a pistol butt cracked against his skull, blood and stars blurring his vision. Carla's arm was seized, her body yanked from the seat as she fought, her voice cutting through the chaos with a desperate cry. "Rodney, get my dad." A verified plea from public records, her last known words. The struggle was frantic. A .22 Ruger magazine clip fell to the pavement, a silent witness to the violence. Then, tires screeched faintly and Carla was gone, swallowed by the night. Her purse lay abandoned on the seat, lipstick and coins scattered like remnants of a life interrupted. Rodney stirred minutes later, head pounding, panic surging. He stumbled from the car, shouting her name into the empty lot, the silence mocking him. He sped to the Walkers' home in Benbrook, bursting in around 1 a.m., his face bloodied, words spilling in a frantic rush. Leighton, roused from sleep, grabbed his pistol, his heart lurching into protector mode. Doris, trembling but resolute, called the police as Leighton raced to the bowling alley, searching the shadows. Fort Worth PD arrived swiftly, flashlights sweeping the lot, finding the purse and that damning gun clip. By dawn, helicopters thrummed overhead. Search parties combed woods and fields, but Carla was a ghost. The city woke to whispers of horror. Missing posters bloomed on poles, and Benbrook's safe veneer cracked. Questions gnawed. Who was watching? Why that lot? The clip hinted at intent, but the trail was ice cold, leading police into a maze where every step felt like chasing shadows. The investigation roared to life like a Texas thunderstorm. By February 17th, Fort Worth PD's headquarters was a hive. Sergeant Jim Minter, a seasoned detective with a dog-eared notebook, led a task force of local cops and volunteers. They descended on Western Hills High, the school's halls eerily quiet as students gathered, eyes red from shock. Detectives interviewed cheerleaders, teachers, anyone who'd seen Carla's smile at the dance, searching for a flicker of something off, a stranger, a grudge. Nothing surfaced, but every answer carried the weight of loss. Search teams scoured Camp Bowie's ditches, divers plunged into the Trinity River, and K-9 units sniffed the traffic circle's edges. The .22 Ruger clip became their beacon, traced to a list of registered owners. One name stood out: Glenn Samuel McCurley Jr., a 31-year-old truck driver from West Fort Worth. He'd bought the pistol but claimed it was stolen 6 weeks earlier. Questioned in a smoke-filled room, his calm answers and a past polygraph cleared him. For now. But the detective's instincts prickled. Something about his story didn't sit right. Tips flooded the hotline, 80 by week's end. A carnival worker from the stock show, seen near the school, was vetted and dismissed. Rumors of drug dealers with grudges led to raids, but no links. A caller whispered of a botched assault, a man who only wanted her body. But the lead fizzled. Rodney, under scrutiny, endured polygraphs and hypnosis, recalling a brown cowboy hat on the attacker, a detail that flickered but didn't solidify. Witnesses clashed. A blue van speeding from the lot? Or was it a black sedan? A dancer swore Carla left with someone else, but photos pinned her with Rodney. The community reeled. Vigils lit up Ridgelea Hills Baptist. Parents clutched their kids tighter, and the Walkers' home became a shrine of anguish. Doris clipped news articles, her hands shaking. Leighton, pistol at his hip, grilled cops at briefings. The task force chased ghosts, morphine in Carla's system, torture marks, parallels to Becky Martin's 1973 murder, but leads dried up by March. The city's pulse quickened with fear, the bowling alley lot now a grim landmark, and the hunt pressed on, teetering on the edge of a breakthrough that felt just out of reach. On February 20th, 1974, the search ended in heartbreak. 2 officers patrolling near Benbrook Lake spotted an anomaly in a drainage culvert off Aledo Road, 5 miles from the bowling alley. There lay Carla, her blue dress torn, body bruised, neck scarred by strangulation. Autopsy reports later confirmed the horror: beaten, violated, injected with morphine, perhaps to dull her pain, then choked to death, likely days after her abduction. The culvert, muddy and secluded, held her like a cruel secret, her underwear and bra askew, evidence of a predator's rage. Leighton and Doris, called to the morgue, faced the unthinkable, their grief a tidal wave. Jim, barely 20, stood numb, the sister he'd teased now a memory. Fort Worth erupted, news vans swarmed, headlines screamed, and Western Hills canceled classes. Students gathered in the gym, where Carla's cartwheels once echoed, now a space of collective mourning. Candlelight vigils flickered across Benbrook, churches packed with whispered prayers. Tips surged again, but evidence, semen traces, hair fibers, sat useless without modern tech. The city locked its doors, suspicion falling on outsiders, drifters, anyone but neighbors. The task force doubled down, but the trail grew colder, Carla's case joining a grim roster of unsolveds. June Ward in 77, Denise Ho in 80, each a shadow over Fort Worth's heart. Decades passed, the wound festering. Annual memorials at Western Hills, a cougar plaque draped in black, kept Carla's name alive. Jim and Cindy carried the family's pain. Leighton's death in '87, a casualty of grief. Doris soldiering on. Then, in 2018, a brother's call to Detective Leah Wagner sparked new fire. With Jeff Bennett, she reopened the case, re-interviewing 80 witnesses, Rodney's trauma-sharpened memory offering fragments. The turning point came with Othram Labs, where DNA from Carla's bra strap, preserved like a time capsule, began to whisper. By July 2020, it pointed to one man, the same one who'd slipped through in '74. The stage was set for a confrontation that would shatter decades of silence, a reckoning Fort Worth had waited too long to see. July 2020 brought the storm to Glenn McCurley's doorstep. Detectives Wagner and Bennett arrived at his modest Fort Worth home, the 77-year-old retiree's life, a facade of normalcy. Grandkids' photos on the fridge, a garage of rusted tools. They asked about 1974, his consent to a DNA swab given with a shrug that belied the truth. Othram's results were ironclad. Carla's bra strap DNA matched McCurley, the Ruger .22, found hidden in his home's floorboards, tying him to the clip left in the lot. On September 21, 2020, marshals arrested him, the cuffs a cold echo of justice delayed. In interrogation, McCurley wove a flimsy tale, intervening in an assault, a willing encounter, a panicked chokehold, but the evidence crushed his lies. Charged with capital murder, he sat in Tarrant County Jail, bond at $500,000, the city exhaling as the predator was caged. The trial in August 2021 was a spectacle of closure. In Fort Worth's courthouse, prosecutors laid bare the case. Rodney, now older but haunted, recounted the attack, his guilt raw as he described the pistol's blow. Retired Sergeant Minter detailed the 74 investigation's dead ends. Wagner and Bennett unveiled the DNA breakthrough. The Ruger, displayed in court, glared like an accusation. McCurley's defense, contamination, coercion, crumbled under the science. On day 3, he pleaded guilty, accepting life without parole. No trial for other cases needed. Jim and Cindy in the gallery faced the man who'd stolen their sister, their pain a silent scream. Impact statements followed. Jim's quiet fury, Cindy's voice breaking as she spoke of empty holidays. A family fractured. Doris, watching from home, found fragile peace. McCurley died in prison on July 15, 2023, his heart giving out, justice sealed in a cell. Carla's case left scars but also lessons. It birthed the Carla Walker Act, funding DNA labs to crack cold cases, giving hope to thousands of families. It teaches us, park in the light, trust the prickle of instinct, know that evil can wear a neighbor's face. Fort Worth learned to look harder, love fiercer, and never forget. So don't let this story slip away. Subscribe. It's a stand for every Carla out there. Comment below, what hits you hardest about her story? Share it. Keep her light burning. As the sun sets over Benbrook Lake, where wildflowers now cover that culvert's pain, Carla's spirit endures, a cheerleader's spark, a sister's love, a legacy of resilience. Rest in peace, Carla. You're not forgotten. Our thoughts remain with the family and loved ones.